All right, well, we felt it here in the studio. Danny, I don't know if you felt it. KABC is reporting out of Los Angeles. A 5.1 earthquake has hit in Ridgecrest. Ridgecrest, of course, we felt earthquakes there before July 4th of last year.
Yeah, and Danny, we were together, to July 5th of last year when something similar happened.
Almost exactly 11 months ago. This USGS actually just upgraded it to preliminary 5.5. So originally they said a magnitude 5.1. Now they're saying 5.5. I felt it here in my apartment. I immediately jumped on USGS waiting for that update, and that's what we have. So they have 17 kilometers south of Searles Valley. That's about 10 miles with the conversion there. So this is around the exact same spot, the epicenter of the Searles Valley sequence, which was 11 months ago in early July. So wanted to show you, I tried to plot this on the map really quickly, so forgive if it's not the most visually pleasing map, but this is kind of where the center is, again, near Ridgecrest, and we are starting to see a few of these populate. So I'm going to zoom in on the map, do my best to kind of give you a look at where this is. So it's near Ridgecrest, about 10 miles south of Searles Valley, a magnitude 5.5. The red dots that you're seeing, those are earthquakes that have happened in the past hour. So you're starting to see a few of these aftershocks populate. I can actually pull up, let me pull up the distance here and measure how far away from Las Vegas, about 120 miles away from Las Vegas. So that's why we felt it here. Again, a magnitude 5.5 is the latest that I have from USGS, and we have seen 2 aftershocks greater than a magnitude of 2.5 since then. So this happened, I would say, let's see, 32. So this happened 10 minutes ago. Which would have been 6:32 Pacific, a 5.5 magnitude. Again, we expect these aftershocks to keep coming. As I get more information, of course, we will bring that to you. But the latest that we have right now is going to be that preliminary magnitude 5.5 near Searles Valley, near Ridgecrest. Trisha, Todd?
Yeah, and and like last time too, Danny, we're sort of beginning to get initial reports back in from people across the valley. We have a viewer who I know is saying in Centennial Hills, I felt it, but I know we're also getting reports some people in Henderson didn't.
Yeah, my husband's at a batting cage and they didn't feel it there in Henderson, and my girlfriend felt it in Temecula. I know at KBC in the studio there during their broadcast, they felt it. So a lot of people, but from what I understand, some of our crews didn't feel it. So I mean, Danny, I don't know if you saw our rebound segment, but that's a pretty sizable earthquake of 5.5. I was reading and all the studio lights just started shaking and the desk started moving, and I don't think it was locked down all the way. And I thought, am I getting sick? Am I getting queasy? And then I looked up again and I looked over at Todd. I said, he's shaking. This is an earthquake we're having.
Yeah, we had a little moment here. I say, wait, is this because I thought it was me? It's just like I'm sure everyone else thought the same thing. Like, wait, am I
imagining something?
Yeah, and then we looked at each other and Danny too. What was the earthquake that hit last year? Do you know off the top of your head? Do you remember what that was? I cannot remember off the top of my head. If we don't.
There was a 7.1, I think,
was
the
bigger,
larger. Or was it a 6 point? Yeah, it was a 6 point something, and then a 7.1, I believe.
I think I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put you on the spot because I didn't remember either. But I could have swore it was bigger last year, but I don't know that for sure.
But this is assumed to be the same strike slip fault, and again 120 miles here. Makes sense that people on the west side of the valley maybe felt this because a 5.5 was noticeably obviously smaller than those earthquakes that we felt last July. So on the west side of the valley, being a little closer to the epicenter, again this is still 110, 120 miles away, but it's that slow rolling that these strike slip faults produce when you get this far away from the epicenter, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
I'm on the west side of the valley. I'm in Summerlin South.
I know. I'm getting texts.
We're both on Twitter. We're trying to find some. So go ahead. Yes.
Well, Chris Way, our general manager, he said he felt it big time. Dave in Master Control also texted me. He said in the Southwest, he felt it big time. So that's so interesting. Yeah. When you feel it in parts of the valley and then you don't. Joe Bartels, I know we're also going to be talking to him.
And we're seeing also too right now, I'm seeing some videos being posted. Okay, that was the exact one I was going to reference. Great timing, Trinae and everyone there in the production. This is what we're seeing. We saw this too last time. A lot of chandeliers swaying, things of that nature. But certainly nothing that would indicate to us for any reason that there would be any kind of significant structural damage. But still, you could You could feel the ground shake, and anytime that happens, that's not the best feeling, Danny.
No, it's definitely not. You know,
it's a little unnerving.
It sure is. I was really seriously thought, oh my gosh, am I nauseous? And our general manager, Chris Way, is in Summerlin. He said it was big time there. So we know that the Southwest and then parts of Summerlin are feeling it as well and felt it. And it's going to be interesting to see if there's any damage. I know there was in Ridgecrest in July.
All right, we understand. We're going to go to Joe Bartels, who's live for us outside. Joe, what do you got for us?
Yeah, well, Todd, Tricia, I was listening to you guys as this earthquake was hitting, and I was kind of looking around to see if I could also feel the earth shaking. We're right in front of City Hall here, and I didn't feel the shaking necessarily. There may have been some slight swaying, but nothing noticeable. Of course, when you're outside, it's a little different, but I've seen social media, as you mentioned, people in high rises and those kinds of things, where you're on second floor of homes, they start to see things start to sway, and people are saying their lights fixtures are still swaying. And if we remember, last year around July, the first week of July, it was initial 6-something, and then days later there was a larger earthquake, a 7.1. So Dr. Lucy Jones, a famous seismologist, if you don't follow her on Twitter, she says that these types of large aftershocks are still common. Even now we're talking several months, 11 months, Danny, as you mentioned. So all of this taking place, it's never a dull moment in Las Vegas. You can